Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 52 of the Hall of Gamers podcast. This week, I'm joined by our wonderful producer, Cameron.
Hey, hey.
And Charlotte.
Oh, thanks.
and my equally...
I may as well leave now.
My equally wonderfully human being, Charlotte? I don't know, what is it you
How
say?
is that any bitter? Like,
What
you
is it
just
you
sound
say?
like you're not excited that I'm here. Like,
I'm
really
excited
cool.
that you're
Okay,
here, but
fine.
I'm trying to figure out what it is you do here. So I'm just like, it's like I haven't got I didn't write down the job description.
Well, again,
I haven't got a
played
coffee
intern.
since she started. This is unacceptable.
My wonderful
Mother-
unpaid intern, Charlotte,
Okay.
who we're very lucky to have on the show and contributes a lot and is a fantastic human being.
I'm the one getting this now, aren't I? Huh?
What?
Huh?
Cameron,
Huh?
let it go. Let it go, Cameron. Let it go.
Okay.
This week, we are going to talk about, well, probably Ubisoft. There's some Assassin's Creed stuff going. There's a few bits and pieces happening there. We're going to talk about Halo because they apparently, just... Yeah, right. They just can't get a fucking win. They're taking L after L after L. And then that last minute, we just saw what's going to be leaving Game Pass, so we'll probably have a bit of a chat about that as well.
It never comes out on Friday. This is really weird.
Yeah, well, I guess it is the second today, so they wanted to get it before the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So usually
Well, they
it's
usually do
Saturday
the
that it's out.
Tuesdays.
Yeah, usually, but Tuesday wouldn't be till what, like the 5th?
Yeah.
So, or the 6th even, so that's probably a little too late. But anyway, Cameron's going to transition us to the song of the week that I don't think anyone's going to get. Take it away. Mothership calls to its children. The invasion has begun. They will suffer subjugation, 'cause the planet will be won. Brother Crypto, where have you gone? I have loaded all my guns. I'm searching for your captors, hunting them down. Everybody's getting abducted tonight. Everybody who tries to put up a fight. Everybody's screaming 'cause the aliens have come. And I'm blowing them down 'cause there's no one to stop me.
Yeah, I got no fucking idea.
Yeah,
have
that's
no
fair.
clue.
That's fair. It's a little bit of a stretch.
All right. One question. Is this song older than me?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, yeah. So,
I'm
no
trying to
chance.
think of it's like it's an older song. I'm actually gonna look up when it came out. I also didn't get to the chorus, so that's like the chorus is the next part of it.
Would the chorus have given it away?
Maybe. I mean, like it depends on your
I
music.
don't
taste.
know. I still. Oh, we have someone in chat that says.
Bon Jovi.
Yeah, it is. David is correct. It is. It is John Bon Jovi. It is. Yes. Do you know what the song is by any chance, though?
That is the question.
Yeah, it is.
I
It was
know Bon
released.
Jovi.
It was released in
Ages.
1992.
So
yeah,
it is
I-
older than me.
Yeah, so again, it's the same age as I am. And so yeah, I haven't listened to a lot of John Bon Jovi in a while, but there are a few songs that they're good karaoke songs because they tend to be the kind of stuff that comes on the radio and people just seem to know the words to. But yes, it was "Keep the Faith" by John
Okay.
Bon Jovi.
Can't say that's
yeah.
one that I would normally listen to.
Yeah,
It's not one of his songs that I would.
no, well, yeah, like
Right on.
yeah, well, I didn't want to do "Wanted Dead or Alive," so it was that. But there are a few others, but this one just came up on my Spotify. Other contenders for Song of the Week that I was trying to put together was "You Really Got Me" by the Kinks. I was trying to get Dreamweaver to work, and then there was a couple other ones that I was looking at, but this is the sort of one that worked up. But hey,
Dreamweaver would be good if you got the right game.
the problem with Dreamweaver is that he spends like the first beginning of it just talking, like
Yeah.
until it gets into the Dreamweaver.
But again, what I've said to you and what you need to take on board, the feedback that I have given you is you don't have to start the song of the week from the start of the song.
That's true. I could just do the choruses.
and
I mean,
choose.
that is kind of what people know. So
Yeah,
Um,
and like that's probably the easier part to choose to then try and get guesses.
true. I have had a couple of songs been sent in that I've been trying to work into like a singing, but again, the problem is that my singing skill set is quite limited. So
Yeah. This is why.
Maybe you need to
This
use
is
that
why I
training
started
course on the
helping.
singing lessons.
well, I was thought about it actually. I do get a.
I think your boss would sign off on that. Actually,
I do get a wellness budget every year. So I mean, I use it on the gym this time, but next year I actually did talk to my practice coach about using it for singing lessons.
I mean, it's not a bad idea.
I don't know if there's enough money in the world, but I also wanted to do Sweet Caroline, but of course the problem is the only lyrics that anyone knows. Is the words Sweet Caroline, and yes, that afterwards.
Bulbasaur has vocals deeper than Rick Astley.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
Well,
I mean, hey, Bulbasaur, if you want to do a song of the week and send it in, we'd be happy to play it.
We happily take them.
We just need to get a Squirtle and we can call it the starters.
Yeah. Yeah. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah.
But
all right.
Anyway.
So
David got it. Bum, bum, bum.
So yeah, we don't have a no guest this week, so we'll probably get straight into our questions. Mm-hmm. Cameron, what are our questions this week?
The only question I've got is pretty much like you can bring one discontinued achievement back from the grave. Which one is it?
Oh, I was thinking long and hard about this one because it's.
Yeah, please tell me you didn't do the cop-out answer. I was just like, I'd bring back everything like everybody else.
Well, yeah, I mean, I put in there that, like, you know, a bunch of people put in the answers like, oh, I bring back all the achievements. And then I just said, we should make all achievements discontinued and find a new hobby.
Yes,
people didn't take kindly to that. So
just cut it all out.
Yeah.
Cut off the limbs.
I've got my answer.
Yeah. What do you got?
The Rivals one for Forza Horizon 2 360 before it went down.
Yep,
because it is the only discontinued achievement that I can't complete the series with.
I have a feeling I have. I've definitely got one.
David said the Fable Anniversary Smart Glass achievement, which, if you're not part of the Achievements Fixes server, Vudix is actually working to get that fixed.
So it might happen.
He is working on it.
Yeah, it just depends on the logistics of like how they're going to do it. But Microsoft is on board.
Okay, because I have one discontinued or unobtainable, and it's on Neon Abyss.
Ah, yes.
For sure, but I think there's... I have a feeling there's another game. Yeah, there's one that's buggy. But I'm pretty sure that one is the unobtainable. Maybe it's fixed now because it's not flagging as unobtainable. That would be cool.
The only one I could think of in yours was Holla. That Holla's fixed.
Yeah. It is fixed, but
still buggy.
But I tried to follow the tip that they had suggested and do the second to last level and not get hit by any of the robots and then get to the boss. And I finished that whole level. It didn't pop. So now I'm faced with, okay, do I have to actually run through the whole game again? Which I can do. I've done it. It just means I have to deal with the jumping again, right? Like,
stream it, please.
This was one of So okay, but this was one of the early games that I first played when I was first starting to stream. And I had no overlays. It was literally just the game, and in the corner was my little face and the camera. And I was busy trying to jump, and everyone's like, it looks like Studio Ghibli. And it's a cute game. It's pretty. It looks great. But the jumping is really awkward because if you try and, when you're on the bells, this is a specific area that I have trouble with. And I'm literally up to it now, and I'm like, fuck. You have to swing with the bells and then jump off and land on something. And the problem is that the jumping mechanics, if you don't do it perfectly, jump up, not to the side. And you're pressing to the side and you're trying to jump off in the direction that you want to go, and it won't do it. Just jump straight up in the air and you're like, fuck.
The momentum's kind of fucked,
Yeah, and so then you end up falling all the way down and you have to do the whole thing again. And it's like, jump to this bell, swing to this bell, jump to the next one, and then swing. And so you fuck up a whole run and you have to do the whole thing again. It's a nightmare. But it is a very beautiful game. It's very beautiful. And now that it's been fixed, I would actually suggest people play it. Because I think it's just my issues with the fucking jumping and swinging. And it's a Vietnamese developer, so... It is very beautiful. Like, that's my only gripe with it, to be honest. That and the fact that that one achievement, which is a 0 gamer score achievement, would not unlock. And I'm like, but it's for Xbox only. Oh, I fuzzed there. It was, I just went real blurry for a second. It's not on the PlayStation version or the Steam version. It is an Xbox only achievement. And so there was no information about how to unlock it back when it wasn't obtainable. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to have to wait and see if someone comes up with a guide or something. And I don't even think there's a couple of trophy guides, but there's no Xbox guide out there.
Yeah.
Which would be kind of interesting. I mean, I could run through it and record the whole thing and then do a guide. That could be cool. I could become a guide.
Be a guide maker, yeah.
YouTube money. So, like, I now know how to do it, and it's basically do not get kicked by the robots, which is kind of annoying because you also have to be kicked by the robots. So if you're going to play it, what I would recommend is try going through it and not getting kicked for the whole game, like jump on top of the robots and avoid being kicked the whole game, and then go back and level and chat to select and get kicked for that last one, because yeah, I feel like it's going to be a bit buggy. So yeah, I'm playing through the whole game again, but that was the one that I wanted fixed, and it is now fixed. So I just have to get it.
Bloody 0G achievements shouldn't count. Anyway.
Yeah, they shouldn't, but they do, because that affects my completion percentage.
Anyway, going through some of the answers that we got. Kia said Final Fantasy 3 on Windows Phone. Obviously, Windows Phone's completely down. Jack of all trades, attain all level 99 on all jobs. But realistically, he just wants Final Fantasy 11 working again.
Yeah,
I don't blame him. What else was there? Bulbasaur said, I would like the Forza Horizon DLC for one to be online again after Charge to get its servers relaunched. Which, yeah, not going to happen. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 to have its Town Hall achievements. Yeah, EA just fucks them up constantly.
Yeah.
And Expert of War for Firehawk completing all challenges for weapons, drones, vehicles, and modes in Xbox Live on the home front.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because he was like a couple of sessions away from getting that done.
Yeah. Because I know that, like, Dio's at the point where he doesn't have any unobtainables on his account at all now. So he actually has the possibility of getting to that 100% completion percentage.
Unobtainables and discontinued, or?
Yeah, both. Okay. No. So he's got no achievements that he can unlock every single achievement now.
I've got a few. I mean, like Homefront has a bunch, like, because they shut down their online. Same thing as Firehawk. Like, I wish I could go and do those. I just have a bunch of achievements there that I just never did. Cause...
There's probably a couple that you won't be able to get on Neverwinter, but they're not necessarily unobtainable or
not necessarily. I mean, like, I only have like 4 achievements left in Neverwinter, and that's mostly due to I just haven't had the time to go and get a group together to grind them out. Like, one of them is next to impossible. In terms of stuff that I would like to come, I mean, it would have been nice to get Army of 240th Day done. That would have been really nice, because that one mask achievement I just can't get because they took down the website years ago.
See, I've never played Army of 2 was always one of those games that interested me early on, but I was like, I knew about the achievements, even not being an achievement hunter, and went, nah, I'm not touching the series.
Oh, Boyfriend Dungeon.
Yeah, but they'll fix that. So
they're going to fix it. Yeah, they're doing a patch. There'll be a patch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I was going to say, David also said that he really liked what Coalition did with Gears 5. Like, and we'll talk about Jump Force a little bit later on as well. Making the game mode became unavailable, so they made it auto pop.
Yeah, so like I wish they would do that with Judgment, for example. Like that's another one where the last achievement I have in Gears of War Judgment is the Cybrite achievement, and so if they can make that auto pop, that would be amazing.
See, I'm torn when it comes to a discontinued achievement, but if it is an unobtainable, like, I can understand that, but discontinued, it really depends on what the requirements are.
Well, the requirements for Cybrite are basically to play 20 of their events that they no longer do. Yeah. So it's like...
Yeah,
something like that. It's like the Project Cars discussion that I had,
Exactly, yeah.
If that's the case, you need to just have one event cycling through that's still counting progress or something.
Yeah. The other ones from back of my backlog are Forza 2, the auction house buying or selling 10 cars online. Really easy to do. Just, again, never did it because that was one of the games I started on my 360 way back in the day. I think most of my achievements in the game are even like offline. Like I started the game in like 2008, which is like a year after I got my Xbox. I still got a few achievements. I probably should go back to it and try and clean up what I can in it. But it is a very old racing game, and it's not backwards compatible, which is very fucking annoying. And then one that people probably haven't heard of, Scourge Outbreak. They shut down the online servers for it, which is really annoying because they didn't warn anybody. So I didn't get a chance to grind out any of the online stuff, which is unfortunate because I'd done most of the rest of the game years ago. So those are the ones that sort of spring to mind. I mean, like, there are ones like Naruto and stuff that always had like the unobtainable DLCs that never came out or whatever, or that kind of stuff for some of the characters. But I'm usually pretty good about jumping on server shutdowns and things like that. But I have been caught out a few times in terms of just like not being able to get things anymore, unfortunately. But I'm very cognizant of it these days. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into the news then. Cameron, what have you got for us?
All right. Talking about discontinued achievements, fucking Ubisoft can't even close down their servers on time. Like, what the fuck?
Yep.
So yeah,
How are you surprised by this?
I mean, I'm not, but at the same time, I'm like, fucking, it's got to be Ubisoft of all things.
Of
so if
course.
you're not aware, Ubisoft have added another month to their 8 games that are getting server shutdowns.
Yeah.
You have until October 1st to complete the online achievements for Far Cry 3, which may still be co-op after the fact.
Not sure.
So it's been, we don't know. What else was there? Rayman Legends, Splinter Cell Blacklist, Ghost Recon Future Soldier, Driver San Francisco, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed Revelations, and Assassin's Creed 3. Most of them will be achievable in a month. Ghost Recon Future Soldier depends on how much you want to grind for.
It's a big grind, but you can do it. Yep.
Rayman Legends would be the only thing that I would say would be...
If you haven't started it, you won't have enough time to do it, basically. Yeah.
Which is... fuck.
It really sucks. Yeah,
It sucks for those people that could have, started it last month and,
Yeah. To be fair, though, I mean, like, I love Rayman Legends, but you'll be okay. Just play Rayman Origins.
Yeah. You don't need... I'm not a fan of Rayman, so just, skip it entirely.
Mm.
But yeah.
That's great.
And while we have Assassin's Creed on the mind, Assassin's Creed Mirage got announced after an art leak.
Yeah.
So I think this originally started off as the leaks happened. I can't remember who picked up on it, but then Jason Schreider and a few others were saying like, yeah, this isn't false. Or at least some of these details aren't false. So then basically caused Ubisoft to announce it today.
Yeah, ahead of they're apparently having an event that they're going to show
on
the game
September
off.
10th, yeah.
Yeah, so in a week or so.
I haven't kept up to date too much with this, other than the leaks that I've heard about it apparently being like a inspired by the Assassin's Creed 1.
Yeah, like when they say back to basics, it looks like it might be like early Bayek or like early Assassin's Order. So again, like taking on kind of from Origins onwards a little bit. But again, we don't really know much. Like apparently there's talk about it being like a live service, like this being a platform in the same way that kind of Destiny and other live services are, which they've kind of moved away from doing the yearly releases for Assassin's Creed for a little bit, partly because of the size of the games and partly because of COVID and other delays. I mean, we haven't had one for a couple of years now, right?
Yeah, the other thing too, apparently launch date is meant to be spring 2023. And there is a rumor going around too that Assassin's Creed 1 will get a remaster because this game will use essentially like 90% of the same assets.
Yeah.
Which I can see, so.
I mean, it's probably about time, to be fair. The first Assassin's Creed game is a very interesting concept that's highly flawed.
Assassin's Creed 1 is probably would probably be my favorite if it wasn't for the flag. Like, you know, the no signposting. I like Ezio more as a character, but one had just, like, experiencing one for the first time again would be amazing.
One had a really, really good tone to it, but I still remember how repetitive it was in terms of, like, the real lack of mission structure, the fact that the assassinations took forever to get to, and the fact that you basically end up doing the same 3 tasks over and over and over again to rack up enough experience. Like,
that's fine for me, because the second half of the, like, you know, the first group of Assassin's Creed games, when they started doing like 100% this by playing, I don't like having those kind of rails on. Like, I don't want to be told how I need to play.
Sure, but I think the later games have a lot more mission variety. Like, I think like Assassin's Creed 2 is the perfect example of taking something that was a really good first try and fucking nailing it. Like, the second game's
amazing, and the fact they have Ezio as a character is
like there's a reason why it resonated so well with people, and the whole, again, the setting also helps. You know, having like Florence and Venice and all those beautiful places. And then Brotherhood, I also really, really enjoy, obviously, because it's a fantastic game. Revelations, not so much, but I think that them going like
half the
like,
game's missing
like
Revelations.
Also kind of true. I wonder if is this going to, like, when they say a remaster or remake, is it going to be from the ground up? Is it going to be like, I mean, if it's going to be on a new engine, chances are like it's been like the original Assassin's Creed came out in 2007, so it's a pretty old game. So I think it would make some good sense, 15 years on.
I'm interested if it's back to basics. Like, this is the thing, yeah. I really like the RPG style of the newer games, but it's a job. You're devoting way too many hours to be able to do it. If I could have a mix of the first game's like tone, length, but with the updated engine and all that kind of stuff, I'm happy.
That kind of sounds like what this is. The rumors are going around is that it's apparently like doesn't have any of that leveling stuff, back to more assassination missions, and they've just sort of cut the fat.
And also, let's be honest too, how much of Ubisoft is held up by the success of Assassin's Creed?
Quite well.
A fair chunk.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Assassin's Creed is that one series for them that needs to hit.
Yeah,
with 20,000 employees.
That's fair. That's a good point.
I'm not saying that the other games suck, but they've had quite a few misses.
Recently, yes.
Yeah,
they're not in a great spot.
But I thought it was worth mentioning. I
should get you. Yeah, I was gonna say, Charlotte, we should get you on some of these Assassin's Creed games. I mean, we've got access to all of them, so there are some good ones in there that I think you'd actually probably enjoy quite a bit.
You know what? I think Origins.
I've watched them, but it's not one that I've played. So
I think Origins is probably the best one.
The best ones are the new bites, sure, but I'm talking about some of the older ones.
I mean, but I'm just saying, like, Origins, I feel like is the best Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, but if you're going to suggest one that I was going to play,
probably 2.
Yeah, I'd probably say 2.
If you play the Ezio collection, you've got 2 Brotherhood and Revelations, and that's a really good starter pack.
Okay.
And then you can read a wiki about 3 and not have to play it if you care about the story, because.
When do I care about stories in games? Not very often.
I actually quite like it.
3 had the potential to be great, though.
I love the Desmond stuff in 3. Like, the Desmond stuff is so interesting, and they just pair it with the worst Assassin's Creed game they ever made in the most boring location.
You know what I would really like?
And also, if you don't care about American history, holy shit, will you be fucking snoring your way through that?
What was I going to say? I would really want a modern world, like a modern day Assassin's Creed.
That's Watch Dogs, but yeah, I know what you mean.
I mean, I liked Watch Dogs except for the fucking Song Sneak achievement.
I like both the Watch Dogs. They're both good games.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, what else we got?
Very good question. Let me go back to my notes.
Jump Force?
Jump Force, yeah. So, like we said before, Jump Force, the achievements got updated after the server closure, which is really fucking nice of them, because the game is still completable.
Not that you probably want to. Apparently, it's very, very grindy. But if you want to go down that road,
it's nice to have that option.
It is. It's good that they've done it. I think that's definitely something that more devs should be doing.
Not like, and I'll just draw the comparison. I'm not sure if I said about the Project Cars stuff on the podcast before.
You mentioned it, but you can talk about it.
Yeah, basically going into the server and being like, hey, is there any, like, what's the plan for events and all that? And just getting the response from a community manager saying, like, you've had 7 years, tough luck. Which there's better ways to go about it. It's just like, look, if that's the tone you're giving to your players, it's like, why would I buy 4 when it eventually gets announced? Like, I didn't mind this series, but you've basically just killed it all. Excitement with a few words. And, like, same time, I probably should have jumped on them earlier, but there's that many games to play these days.
Yeah.
It's like, where do you prioritize? But I like this kind of behavior. I want to see more of it. I know that devs that I work with, I'm very much pushing for, if you're going to include achievements in your game, don't make it anything that's going to eventually become discontinued. Or do like an X or a Y kind of condition thing. You unlock it via this, or you do a hard road because the servers are shut down, and you do a 10,000 kills kind of thing.
I thought when Mass Effect 3 did that route, all those years ago, I thought that was going to become more of a thing, but it just never caught on.
Was it 3 or Andromeda?
3. Both, I think. Actually.
Yeah.
3 definitely had it, because I haven't played Andromeda.
Yeah. But it's a good thing to be able to, do stuff like this, because, the devs get publicity off it. A few other people that are just like, all right, well, I'm never going to pick it up now because, it was discontinued, can still get that. But yeah, thought it'd be worth a quick mention. What else we got? Do you want to talk about the From Software stuff?
Yeah, I'll quickly touch on it. There's not much to say there. Basically, Tencent and Sony have decided that
Sony bought Elden Ring?
No, Sony did not buy Elden Ring. That is not the headline. So Sony and Tencent
they have
together,
the least amount.
Yes, are buying 30% of From Software.
They don't even have a quarter. They have 14.09%.
Yeah, and then Tencent.
Kodokawa are keeping 69.66%.
Yeah,
of course. It's fantastic.
They want the controlling share, obviously, but they basically said that, hey, we need to make some more money because we want to do bigger things. Kadokawa, on just for context, is not a small organization by any means. They own a lot of stuff, including a lot of the rights to a lot of anime and manga, including Konosuba. Which is why I hope that one day they do a Konosuba Souls game. That'd be hilarious.
Oh my god!
Shit out of that.
I know who I'm playing.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Darkness, my best girl.
I'll play Aqua.
Useless goddess.
Exactly.
Okay, anyway, moving on from weeb stuff.
Yeah, so there's not really much to say there. People have been blowing it way out of proportion, but it's basically it's some investment stuff. Tencent, as usual, is just investing in everything, and Sony's like, hey, you guys do some good work for us, so we'll give you some cash, and maybe you'll be more likely to give us an exclusive down the line. So Bloodborne 2 or whatever the fuck it ends up being.
Yeah.
I was going to say, the funny thing is, though, what was it, like a month or two ago, all the rumors going around that Sony was buying FromSoft?
I mean, yeah, apparently there were discussions about that, right? And it's like, okay, well, not entirely untrue. They're buying part of it, but definitely not a controlling share.
Just find it funny.
It's like hearing the whispers and not getting the full story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, I can't make that joke. All right, here onto the big one. Halo.
Halo's dead.
I swear to God.
Let's go.
343 is like I shot themselves in the foot and then grew another foot just to shoot themselves in it. Like, I don't understand how one company can fuck up so badly repeatedly and still just. Okay.
I'm sad as a Halo fan. I'm very sad.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
So this time, that last year when we were talking about Halo, right? And we were like, oh, it looks interesting. Halo, it's interesting. It's coming out this year after the whole Craig debacle.
Yeah.
Is it going to be ready? It was not fucking ready. And it looks like it still won't be ready for a good long while. So the news basically is they've put out they've done a new roadmap, which, is always a good sign.
It's not a delay, it's a new roadmap.
Yeah, exactly. Once you would abandon an old roadmap to make a new one, it's never a good fucking sign. So apparently the campaign co-op, which we were promised in August, was going to be part of season 3. Well, originally it was season 2 and then season 3 or something. It was originally season 2 and then got delayed.
Yeah.
It has now been pushed into November. So another delay.
Wait, season 2 or season 3? You say?
So we're in season 2 at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's now
so-
been pushed to season 3.
I believe the co-op was supposed to be at launch on season 2.
Yeah.
But it got pushed to August, and then now we just finished August, and we're like, oh, it's actually
So where
November.
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meaning that
So-
season 2 is like 10 months long now too.
So yeah, then now they've said basically is that that their third Forge beta has also been scheduled is also going to be delayed till November, and the third season of content is going to be delayed till March.
Yeah.
And they've also cancelled split screen co-op multiplayer, which they had already
After
announced.
numerous times promising.
Yep.
It's like,
Yeah.
no, it's part of the Halo experience. Like, it will make it in.
Yeah.
And then, nah, it's not going to be in.
And I saw that, like, again, Reddit, as you would expect, the internet's fucking exploded over this bullshit because it's just another thing that 343 is completely fucked. And someone had collated the headlines for all of their games, right? And it was after Halo 4. It says, we've learned a lot from Halo 4. We won't be making the same mistakes. And the next headline was, we've taken a black eye from MCC, but we won't make the same mistakes in the next game. We had some problems with Halo 5, but we won't make the mistake in the next one. Halo Infinite. Okay, so we're redoing this whole fucking thing. We put out a new roadmap. Like, at what stage do you just like cancel that entire team and just be like, we're done? Just fucking find some new people, because they clearly don't know what the fuck is going on. Their management, it must be in fucking shambles right now, because it's incredibly bad.
Look, for a bit there, I could be like, you know, COVID, pandemic, yada yada, kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but like, I mean,
they got pushed to bring out a game a year early. I get it, right? It sucks.
But that still doesn't explain what they're going through now. Like, it's like, what the fuck are they even doing?
Like, I really enjoyed the old Halo games, right? Like 1, 3, Reach, ODST, are just like fantastic games. But like, fuck, like, what have they done? And like I don't understand how fucking
they massacred my boy.
yeah, exactly. Yes, yeah, you haven't even seen The Godfather. What are you talking about?
Another reference.
Yeah, like I'm surprised like Philly Spence hasn't just kicked in the fucking door and been like, oi, 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 what the fuck's going on here? Like, Jesus, like Halo is the brand ambassador mascot franchise for this console, for this whole fucking business.
I got two questions with this. Because I think there's a bit of discussion. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
I when I saw this news, on my heart sank, because I've been looking forward for the co-op for so long. Like, that's the one thing I want out of this. Two questions with this. First question is, like, what do you... what's the best way to word this? Like, has this dampened your thoughts on Halo? For you, Matt, specifically?
Like... Okay, yeah, go, what's the second question?
And the second question was, if Chief... I feel like with the Halo TV show... Like, I feel like everything Halo has been tainted now.
It's done a Star Wars, unfortunately. It's like, yeah, like they just completely... This is fucking Rise of Skywalker. Like, it's the fucking... They've completely fucked it in the latest
it's
release.
put me off. And like I said to you guys that I was actually really interested in playing MCC, right? Like, I would do it if Matt, Dio, and I think we're going to get Kitten in.
See,
all four of us were going to do it. I'd do it. But after playing, like, on our 12-hour stream, after playing Halo Infinite, I was just not impressed. I didn't like it at all. I've been playing Halo with Dio, and aside from the lag, because we're on opposite sides of the world from each other, I actually really enjoyed it. Like, that was way more fun, even with the lag, than Halo Infinite. That's saying something. Like, that should not be the case.
Yeah. And I know they're trying to recapture the magic, right? Like, it's hard to capture lightning in a bottle, once, let alone, 3 times.
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah. But yeah, it just really feels like they just can't get a win. Has it dampened how I feel about Halo in general? Sure. I haven't played a Halo game since 5. I didn't play MCC. I didn't enjoy 4. for the most part. Like I played through it and I got everything done for it, but like I felt like 4 was a misstep in terms of its story and all that kind of stuff.
See, I felt like that originally about 4, but going back to 4 now, I feel a lot more strongly about it than I did originally.
And I would probably agree if I went back to it now and been like, oh, actually, yeah, like because well, it's hard because like 4
new
had
studio, like not new studio, but you know, taking over.
Yeah, it was like they take it. It was the first one that Bungie didn't do. It was a different story because they'd finished the fight for already done 3 in Reach, right? And like, and they'd come off Reach, which was great, but I know people had some problems with some of it. But it was like a fantastically solid game.
Yeah.
They had big shoes to fill. And I had some problems with it, like in terms of like their villains and the whole thing with the didact and all that sort of shit. And it's like you had to read the books and stuff to understand what the fuck was going on.
Yeah,
it was but. Yeah, like David points out in chat, the best game with Master Chief in it now is Fortnite, and that's fucking sad, but he's probably not wrong. Halo 3 was perfect. I tend to agree. I think Halo 3 is one of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah.
Which is saying something because those first 3 games are fucking like you can go back at any point in time and you can appreciate Halo.
One and 3 especially, yeah. Two has
its issues, but like for the time.
Yeah.
Like, you can understand how big Halo 2 was.
Halo 2's multiplayer is incredible.
Yeah. My second question was going to be, unless you had any closing thoughts on that.
No, that's just, I'll always be interested to see what comes out of Halo, right? Like, I'll always, like, I like Halo Wars, I like Halo, like, I always keep an eye on it, but I've never been more disappointed in something outside of maybe Star Wars, in terms of its direction.
And you know my thoughts and feelings about Star Wars.
I fucking love Star Wars, and I have thoughts, but this is not the podcast for it.
Halo 2 LAN parties, chef's kiss. Yeah,
absolutely.
I was going to say, so if the Chiefs, I'm going to use the same analogy that I used last week. If Chief's been taken behind the shed and been given the shotgun, who is now the new unofficial Xbox mascot?
I guess you go back to Gears of War, right? I guess that's kind of all you have to. I mean, you can't.
I don't feel like Gears 5 though carries that torch.
It doesn't. But Gears hasn't had like as big. Like again, Gears 4 and 5 kind of don't live up to 1, 2, and 3, right?
I feel like Gears is the same case as like if we asked for Die Hard, if we asked the hardcore, Die Hard Gears of War fan. They'd probably just tell us the same thing. Like it's like Halo, the franchise.
Similar situation. New studio comes in, makes some shitty games, or not shitty. I mean, to be fair, like I think 4 is a fine game, and I think 5 is decent. But I think like it's not nearly to the same extent.
Yeah.
And I think that like if they turn Gear 6 into a big fucking thing, Game Pass is the new mascot. Yeah, thanks.
I'm not using that every single fucking week.
I mean, like. You could do, like, in terms of, like, an unofficial mascot, I mean, shit, they could bring back Banjo-Kazooie. They still have...
Forza Horizon car.
Yeah, that was
the guy you run.
The car from Forza Horizon. The car, yeah. But you can't really do that. I mean, you don't necessarily need a fucking mascot anymore. I mean, think about, like, Sony. Like, what is Sony's mascot?
Yeah, Uncle Phil's the mascot.
Yeah, Philly Spence. Yeah, exactly.
We'll just get him on. We'll just tell him, hey, Philly Spence, come join us. You're our new mascot.
Yeah. It's a Connect version of him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I mean, like PlayStation. We've kind of moved beyond mascots, right? I mean, so like Nintendo obviously still has Mario because they always will.
Yeah.
But it's like Sony is like they don't have Crash Bandicoot anymore. They're well beyond that.
Yeah.
They always struggled having Sly Cooper doesn't exist. They're not making any more of those. They don't have Spyro.
Like Kratos.
It's like Kratos. Exactly. Kratos is the only one I can really think. It's like Kratos and then.
Actually,
Kratos is the only one that comes to mind.
Joanna Dark, depending on how well Perfect Dark does.
It won't do well. I can already tell you right now.
Yeah.
I'm
trying to be an optimist.
It's been a long time.
It's kind of an interesting one though, because like
Ratchet and Clank is good call. Yeah.
If you think about Series X and the fact that there isn't really any exclusive to the Series X and Series S. So there isn't really a mascot at the moment. Like the only character would have been Master Chief.
Yeah, it's true.
That's all I would think of if I think Xbox.
Think Halo.
Actually it's interesting. I was just thinking 2 seconds ago that Xbox currently is more like a collab of different mascots.
Yeah.
With Activision closing, there will be Crash. That'll be.
Oh yeah, true. Actually, that will get. Actually, that is hilarious. They get
That
Crash
is pretty
Bandicoot
funny.
now. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. And there's other smaller things like Fallout has Vault Boy. Like it's not Xbox,
that's true.
but we have those kind of smaller.
Got like Doom Guy and you've got BJ Blazkowicz from Wolfenstein. Like again, the things they've acquired, I suppose, maybe fit that build. And Spyro.
Spyro, yeah. We do love Spyro.
We need a Smash Brothers clone.
I mean, considering how well Multiverse is doing, it would not surprise me if they have something in the works.
It would make sense.
Wonder what studio would be working on it.
You can just watch Master Chief lose even more.
All
right.
Cortana.
Yeah.
Just imagine the physics.
see if these pirates.
Imagine the mods.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. And then the other thing I wanted to touch base on was there was an interesting discussion about the Callisto Protocol. Why it is a difficult financial model for Xbox Game Pass to succeed in Xbox Game Pass. So, Striking Distance Studios, the team that is, making the Callisto Protocol at the moment, had a discussion with, I believe, one of the guys at Gamescom from the TA team.
Yeah.
Essentially just saying that they don't think it's feasible. The Chief Technology Officer, Mark James, said it would be a difficult place for independent linear single-play games like the Callisto Protocol to hit Game Pass, so don't expect it in 2022 and 2023. Without going too much into it, essentially, single-player experience, third-person linear horror game, their argument for it is, if it's a single-player game, it's going to be played once in Game Pass, and then that's it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what your thoughts are on. Obviously, we have first-party studios that develop, single-player games that go into Game Pass. But do we think that the third-party single-player experience is going to be more so just the indie space than that, or we should be getting like bigger hits in the future? Like, the first thing is Plague Tale Requiem. In essence, for me.
But that's already coming in. That's a given for Game Pass, right?
Yeah.
Like, there was never going to be a question about that one not coming to Game Pass.
But I guess what Cameron's saying is he puts these on kind of the same tier. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Why is Plague Tale coming and not this?
Are we saying that this dev is kind of just being like they've just been overly cautious? It's a bit of
or to be fair, are they full of shit? To be honest, I don't.
Because there's so many games in Game Pass already that are exactly what they've described. Like, if Game Pass was just multiplayer and like replayable games, right? If that was Game Pass, I wouldn't have Game Pass.
Yeah, and
that's not why I get it, because I prefer to play single player games that I can run through once, or in like that's the kind of games that I would play. Yeah, like
it. I have so many different paths of thinking from this, because it's kind of like we've got quite a few good examples in Game Pass already about this. We know that from devs that have shared their Game Pass knowledge, like their partnerships and that kind of stuff, most of the time the dev cost is covered. My first thought with this originally was like, are they not so trying to get a better offer, but they're aware of how successful, like how much hype there is around this game at the moment? Do they think they can get a little bit more out of doing sales?
Like, I wonder if they didn't, like, whether they were offered and it wasn't what they wanted to get.
Yeah,
they could be trying to get a better deal.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing, right? How many times have we heard someone go, "Oh, is it coming to Game Pass?" and the devs say, "No, it's not," and then 3 months later, it does. Because if your game isn't coming to Game Pass day one, the last thing you want to do is tell people it's coming to Game Pass in the future, because people will just wait.
Yeah, they won't buy it.
Yeah, I like if you like that's kind of where I'm sitting at with Zero Time Dilemma at the moment is that like it came out, it's the third in a series. The first two are on Game Pass, but this one isn't, and the other ones
Yeah.
were at launch. And now I'm like, oh,
Is
they
it
didn't
going
put
to
it on Game
come
Pass. Is it
to
coming
Game
to Game
Pass?
Pass, or is it just like? And
It
how
was
long
the
is it
same
gonna
thing
take?
with Cult of the Lamb, right? Because like people were like, is it coming to Game Pass? Everyone had just assumed it was. Like I bought it before it came out for my Xbox. I then was gifted the PC version, but like there was no question in my mind to get it because I was like, that's not coming to Game Pass, so I am going to buy it. Even if it does come later on, that's totally fine. I now own it, and that's actually one of the first games I've had in a long time that I will replay because you can just start a whole new cult and go again.
True.
Like that's one that I'm glad I paid for.
Trust you to be the woman of multiple cults.
But like,
I'm
hey,
a
like,
deity
Jonestown
after all.
some shit up here
Like-
and then just leave.
like I've been
Yeah.
playing, I've been playing a shitload of like single player short. Excuse me, single player short games on Game Pass. You know, like last week, I was like, I did Kill It With Fire, I did Kraken Academy, I did the Gunk. Like the Gunk is a great example of like a short, interesting, independent developer, third party,
Yeah.
who was like, hey, let's put this on Game Pass.
It's that's what I want out of Game Pass too. I want to be able to play those. I would say the Gunk is a double A experience.
It's
Some
a-
people,
yeah, it's
some people
I
might hit
agree.
me back
Yeah.
and say indie, but I'd say double
It's
A.
somewhere in the middle. It's got pretty good
Yeah.
production value.
I mean,
for
I
it.
wouldn't put it down as an indie, but
I want double A experiences that are usually around that $40 to $50 price mark in Game Pass that I can
Yeah.
enjoy.
Yeah, and like it doesn't have to be day one, right? Like, because we still have shitloads of stuff to play. But to come out and say that they don't think it'll work financially, I think it's just them kind of being like, yeah, they didn't give us a good enough offer.
yeah, I think that's a cop out, and it's we didn't get the money we wanted from it,
Yeah.
so we're gonna try and sell it and see if we can get it that way, and then maybe later on, if we didn't make as much money, we might consider Game Pass.
And
But we're not going to tell you that we're going to do that.
No, right? Yeah, exactly. It'd be like saying, "Oh, this is going on discount in a month." Like, why the fuck would you ever say that? And like, fair play to them, right? They need to make money for their game.
Okay, going back to the discount thing, you say that, but it is a thing in game dev. Because the last thing you want to do, especially with Steam sales, for example, is get people to do your refund, jack the refund statistics up when you could like, hey, we're doing a sale next week, FYI.
Sure, sure. But I think it's like with Game Pass, it's like
It's a
if
different
it's coming,
thing,
if it's coming to Game Pass, it's not going to be in a month. It's going to be in like 3 months, right? It's going to be
But-
it's going to be after
It
the
won't
initial.
be straight away.
Using another example is Guardians for
Yes, great
Guardians.
example.
I think is a
Fantastic
great example because I don't think it lived up to the expectations what that team wanted for it. It's an amazing game. But,
I like it a lot, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's the example, right?
They would
Like
make
that's
it.
what I wonder if that'll be what happens to Callisto Protocol.
But the only reason that it happened, right, and again, we don't know, but we've heard the talk, right, around how much Microsoft paid to get that on the platform, and it was a lot of money. And I think that was the thing, is that the only reason that Microsoft decided that they needed it because it was a medium-sized game they could get for for them, a relatively good deal, because it wasn't selling super well on their platform.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, helps out the devs as well because he's struggling in sales.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it was a thing where there was like, okay, this is getting a lot of buzz. This is getting a lot of good publicity. People are liking this a lot more than people expected. This is the kind of thing that would be really good to have on Game Pass as like hey, it's a highly rated game. Now, if Callisto Protocol comes out and gets high ratings, I bet you Microsoft is going to be knocking on their door pretty much straight away to be like, okay, let's work out a deal.
Yeah, especially if you think about it this year, there's more indies this year than they are those AAAs and the higher quality games, right?
Yeah.
Like there are way more indies this year, I feel like. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that
Well, I think
what
it's
you
just
guys see, or
I don't know if there's more indies. I just think there's less
This
of
is how it
other
feels.
stuff.
Yeah, I think
yeah,
there's
there's
less
less other
AAA.
stuff. So,
There's other stuff distracting from them.
Like we don't.
yeah,
We like Deathloop, for example, is hitting PlayStation Plus in September. Yeah, I think. Like, and I would have imagined we would receive it. Actually, it made me think just then too. Do we think once we start getting that, all right, we're getting that AAA every quarter kind of thing, that Xbox is building towards, do we think we will have these major third-party deals, like Lies of P, for example?
Probably, I don't think we'll get as many of them, and part of that will be because Microsoft will have their own library that they'll be happy with. But I think the other part is that Sony now has their own competing service that they'll be fighting for, which means that like every conversation now has a competitor.
Yeah.
Every time you bring a number to the table, they go, well, we talked to Sony and they said they'll give us an extra 200,000 on top of that just if we don't go with you. What can you do for it? And it's like,
which we know is the case.
Yeah, and they'll say, and Microsoft will say, oh, we'll give you more additional marketing budget, or we'll do this, that, and the other, or we'll do this for this game, and whatever you do next, potentially, again, who knows, right? But
the stupid thing about that is actually they would both benefit by working together. I know they're competing against each other. I know Sony and Xbox are competing against each other, right? Like, I get that, but they've done studies where, like, vending, and this is like small fries, vending machines have been put next to each other with opposing brands, right? So like you've got one vending machine that has Coke and Sprite and all of that, and the other one has Pepsi and Mountain Dew. The two that are next to each other make more money than the separate ones on their own.
Of course. But the thing is that like...
But they'd never do it.
And we don't want them to be honest, because at the end of the day, we don't actually give a shit how much money those companies make. And at the end of the day, we don't really give a shit how much the devs make. We just care that we get the games that we want for the price that we want.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is that if say both services were able to get the same games and not compete against them, we'd get more games essentially, because we'd have a lot less like exclusives and stuff like that. But that's just, I don't know. I just want more games.
We've got too many games as it is. I don't know.
We do. I am not keeping up with my games this year.
Yeah, I'm doing okay, but it's still a struggle. But I think to wrap it up, I'm really interested to see what happens with this game when it comes out. I think this is going to be, because sometimes it's like, hey, we need some funding to get this game made and published, and I think that maybe that's where, like, you know, something like Plague Tale comes in, where they're like, hey, we'll put this on service. Can you throw us some cash? Whereas I think Callisto Protocol is like, no, we've got a game here, like, and you can come to us if you want us on your service. We are providing a benefit to you, not the other way around.
Yeah. I think that's the difference, and we're not used to it because we're used to them just getting their way a bit, right? And getting the games on Game Pass. We've got used to that. It's coming to Game Pass. Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
And to be fair, they've been very upfront. They're very much like, hey, this is coming to get, like, most of what they show comes to Game Pass because that's their new way of getting games out.
I'm very interested. Probably not going to Game of the Year list because of December release date.
Probably not. Yeah, it's like like David points out, like, must be really annoying for developers to bring out the game and the first question they ask them is, will this come to Game Pass? Thank you. And it's like, yeah, that's an annoying question, but it's probably a sign that realistically you should be looking at Game Pass as your model because that's what people are interested in.
Yeah.
The other example I can think of is Control. Do you remember when Control came out and everyone was like, oh, it's coming to Game Pass, right? And they were like, no. And everyone was like, this is a Game Pass game. This is a single player game. You should be putting this in Game Pass so more people can experience it. And yeah, sure, you know, like the Callisto Protocol devs are like, people play through it once and then just, you know, and it's like, yeah, maybe, but it's like, but if you go to 10 times the amount of people who would have played your game,
what does
it fucking matter if they play through it once?
You're going to get less, I think you get more people playing your game if it was on Game Pass. But does that then turn into more sales of the game? I guess.
We have seen that apparently, like, those statistics have been out about some of those games selling more when they go into Game Pass, right? But to be fair, those have usually been smaller games. Yeah. So like Callisto Protocol already has a lot of advertising. Like it got shown on you know the Summer Games Fest,
Gamescom.
Gamescom stuff. Like it's a AAA game at this point.
Yeah.
Just about.
The other thing too that I didn't take into consideration is until now, a lot of stuff has been delayed to December from Xbox. So they might have already. You know, if that stuff was already aware, then they could have, you know, not lowballed the offer, but offered them a smaller thing for Game Pass because Stalker's still meant to be.
Yeah, like Microsoft may have just like lowballed them and just said, hey, like this is how much we think it's worth right now, and that number might change. That number might even go down if the game comes out and it's not very good. We
don't really know until it comes out. So
like you know. Yeah.
Or their devs could have like easily like it works both ways. If you have something cool to show up, I was going to say the other thing that we didn't really get to. I'm going to quickly just skip through it. Xbox acquisition about Activision stuff.
Yes.
Basically, Phil's came out and said it's driven by mobile and PC ambitions.
Yes, I watched this interview. Was really, really good actually. If you should definitely go and check it out. Was Bloomberg did the interview. It's like 30 minutes, and there's a lot of interesting talking points around kind of why they were acquiring things and the sort of antitrust aspect of it. Because again, Microsoft has gone through that back in the 80s and 90s. And he also talks a little bit about the scrutiny of the acquisition and how like the acquisition's moved to phase 2, which means that they're getting a sort of deeper level of inquiry on it, which is to be expected, to be fair, because it is, it's basically been called on to be looked at.
Yep, and the UK have knocked it back because it's anti-competitive, or are looking deeper into it.
They're looking deeper into it, which is again what you'd expect.
I was going to say, based off this news too, there was a rumor, another Xbox podcast saying that we might potentially see another batch of backwards compatible games.
That would be incredible.
Because of licensing stuff. Don't expect your Marvel and that kind of stuff though.
Something would be great.
What else was there? I had another story of the acquisition stuff. I haven't had it in here. I'm just trying to think of it.
They announced the friends and family.
Yeah, the friends and family stuff. Going back to the Activision stuff, there was the confirmation that Diablo, I think Diablo, Overwatch, and Call of Duty will all be, they're all planned to come to Game Pass. Basically, with the UK stuff, they said we're still going to release Call of Duty on, both platforms and that kind of stuff. Makes no sense. But we do plan to release it into Game Pass, and that's what they're cracking down on, which is ridiculous.
I guess, it's a new model, right? I can kind of see why it's moved, but
it's just one of those things. And then the last thing was the Xbox Elite Series 2 white controller is rumored to be releasing in September.
Oh, okay.
We're seeing them out in the wild, but
is it still not like fully white though?
It's like white with black grips or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's white with black grips. It's not full white.
Of course not. It's an Elite controller. It has to, In other controller news, I finally got my packing slip to return my broken Design Lab controller, so that's good. So I'm going to try and sort that out this weekend. They did tell me on the phone, they're like, yeah, we're just actually going to have to give you a refund because we don't have a replacement for that exact model. So I just went and bought a new one.
Yeah, who said that was going to happen?
Yeah, right. They didn't. I was like, I figured that was going to be the case, but I wasn't going to spend the money until they confirmed it. So so that's finally getting taken care of. So
they didn't let you keep the broken controller?
No, they did not.
No, of course not.
They're going to have to destroy it or whatever that they do with them. I'm sure they'll just. They're sure they'll just take the skin off it and just put it.
They'll probably use what parts they can.
Yeah, easy. I think that's most of our news. But we got some Game Pass stuff and some updates. Games with Gold got announced, right?
Yeah. So this marks the last 360 game to be added. So quick moment of silence. Cool. Now that's done. Double Kick Heroes, as well as what was the first one for the month?
Gods Will Fall.
Gods Will Fall. That's it.
Well, it's Gods Will Fall and Thrill Ride, I think, are the two.
Yep. And then Portal 2 and Double Kick Heroes will be finishing off the month. I'll be very interested to see what is going to happen with October's game with Gold.
Yeah, so I got the email letting me know that they're canceling the 360 era stuff.
Yep.
But again, no details in the email. Nothing about what's happening with the service, whether they're going to change it to 4 or just keep it at 2. I get the feeling they're going to keep it at 2. But we shall see.
I mean, I wouldn't put them past them too to do like indies from the 2013.
I mean, yeah, like it's a good opportunity. That's when that stuff exploded, right? They have a lot more to choose from. They don't have to be constrained by 360 games that are backwards compatible. I mean, Portal 2, to be fair, is an amazing fucking game, and everyone should play it.
What if Games of Gold essentially became like an ID at Xbox catalog?
Perfect. That's exactly what I want it to be.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be anything else. I mean, it basically already is in a lot of ways. It needs, a method to get indie games into people's faces that's not Game Pass.
Especially ones that you missed.
Yeah.
Like so many ones that I've, now that I'm looking every single month, I'm aware of stuff that's coming out, but there's stuff years ago that I've just it's completely fallen off the radar.
Yeah, it's like how they pulled Calico like that. Like, I'm so glad they did that because I wanted Calico.
Yeah, it was a good ad. And then so for Game Pass stuff, so Humble Games have said there's a few more games coming day one, which is cool.
Yep. There was a mistake with an email. Well, we don't know if it was a mistake or what the go is, but they basically sent out one of the marketing emails saying Gungrave Gore can be played through Game Pass.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
I think preemptively a little bit early kind of situation.
Right. Yeah, but is that going to be Game Pass, or is that just, you need Game Pass to use the cloud to play it or something? I don't know.
Don't know, but it's not meant to launch till November 22nd, so...
Oh, okay, yeah, so probably, yeah.
So, set to launch on
probably.
November 22nd and has officially announced anything connecting to Game Pass, but a promotional Xbox Game Pass email appears to have been received around Europe, which suggests it will join Game Pass library at launch.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Like one of those tagline little things about the game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool. And the other thing is Victoria Free is coming to October, but apparently skipping PC and PC Game Pass and the Microsoft Store at launch.
Yeah, so apparently they've got some sort of exclusivity with Steam that they're going to be doing.
Which is interesting.
Because they'd already announced that it was already been shown on in videos and that kind of stuff at conferences that it was going to be coming to Game Pass PC. So
the question is now though, is Steam starting to get Steam's never really done exclusives.
They've never needed to because they've been the only game in town really in terms of it's interesting. Well, to be fair, this could just be as easy as the devs being like, we don't have time to develop for the Microsoft Store SKU, and it's just like we're just gonna cut it.
This is a nice way of saying that's a delay.
Without actually saying it's a delay.
Basically, yeah. So that would not surprise me, to be honest. I think it's probably
it's still coming out.
Yeah.
It's just not coming out where it was supposed to come out.
So yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
Yep.
In terms of games that are hitting Game Pass, we've got Grid Legends dropped today. Disney Dreamlight Valley, which is September 6th. I'm actually very interested to check that out with Percy. Train Sim World 3, same day. Usoka Parking, September 14th. Outer Wilds, September 15th. Beacon Pines, September 22nd. Slime Rancher 2 in early access, September 22nd. Wondering whether that will get achievements or not.
Probably not straight away.
Yeah. Been a few early access ones that haven't had it. What was it the other day? Ublets. Launched, $45 and no achievement support because it's game preview.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. But that,
I was like,
is it going to get achievements though?
Probably.
It will get achievements eventually, but I was just like, that's interesting. I mean, it's possible, you can do it on Xbox, but it just seems a bit weird. Grounded 1.0 release September 27th. I'll be interested if they add more to that. And Mooncars. Or Moonscars.
Yep, Mooncars. Yep, Mooncars. Yep.
Mooncars.
The buggy racing game. I'm looking forward to that.
And then just before the podcast went live, we had games leaving. Origami 2, Bug Fables, Craftopia, Final Fantasy 13, Flynn, Son of Crimson, Artful Escape, Iron Fish, Skatebird, Mighty Goose, Lost Words, and A Plague Tale Innocence.
Yeah.
It's a big list.
Yeah.
It's huge. That's a huge list.
I'm worried. We've lost so many games in September. We've lost so many games this year. Not this year, this month.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a big few lists, yeah.
Games that are must-plays, Artful Escape.
Yep.
Plague
Tale Innocence.
Flynn.
Flynn's not a must-play. Flynn's good.
I love Flynn.
Flynn's good.
It's good.
Flynn's good. Mighty Goose is good. If you like a Metal Slug kind of clone.
I need
Lost Words is a really nice story. It's sad, but it is worth playing if you like stories.
I would say the 5 games to the right
easy stack.
are the really good games that you should be playing. Mine's Final Fantasy 13. It's fine, but just pick up a cheap copy, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the best Final Fantasy.
No, it's definitely not.
Anything to the left, I would probably say you're pretty safe missing.
Come on. How did you find Origami 2 though? Because you did Origami 2, didn't you?
I did Origami 1.
One,
and,
okay,
And,
all right.
I really enjoyed the game. So I've had 2 on my to play list for ages. So I'm probably going to try and do 2 if I
I
can.
feel like someone's done it. I'm just not sure who.
I think it might have been, I think Mike maybe done it or someone.
Maybe it was
someone
Mike.
in AHA.
Maybe it was Dio.
I don't think so.
Firehawk.
No. Firehawk, that's
actually,
it. There we go.
Firehawk,
I was like,
yeah.
someone in AHA
Yeah.
has done Origami 2. Because I've seen it. But yeah, the 4 would be, for me, would be Flynn, Artful Escape, Lost Woods, and Plague Tale, which I'm now going to have to Valak Plague Tale.
Well,
I
own Plague Tale, so it's fine for me.
Cool.
Yeah.
$10 copy.
Plague Tale's great, yeah. Yeah, so I would definitely recommend all of those. Bug Fables was one I was looking at, but it's like a long completion.
It's very long, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Craftopia is not really my kind of thing, but I've already done Final Fantasy. I've done Flynn. I've done.
Did Craftopia have achievements though? Because it was still
No, I think it was in game preview.
in
right?
preview. Yeah, it's still in game. Well, as far as I know, was still in game preview.
It is still, yeah.
I'm not sure about Iron Fish. Skatebird, I didn't really gel with the controls at all.
Yeah.
Iron Fish is annoying, apparently.
It's very annoying.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like Iron Bread, isn't it?
Iron Bread,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
It's the same thing.
It's a YouTuber game, yeah. So it's like really the only ones on that list that I haven't done are Mighty Goose and Origami 2. So I suppose it's probably going to be my next few weeks.
Mighty Goose
Yeah.
was like 3 to 4 hours, I think. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I was actually looking for another Game Pass game.
I'll be
to look
doing
at,
Plague
so-
Tale this weekend. That's my new stream game.
All right. I suppose we should get into what we've been playing then. Charlotte, do you want to go first?
I literally haven't been playing anything this week. So I'm easy. I have earned 0 achievements this week since stopping my streak, and it's actually been a nice break. I'm enjoying it. But I've been playing Cult of the Lamb. That's the one I've been playing on stream. And I will be going to Plague Tale Innocence now, which is fine because that was my stream game before I changed to Fallen Order. So I'll just go through that, and that can be my completion.
I'm assuming you aren't going to do the stack.
Nope. No, I'm just going to do Xbox.
Yeah, fair enough. Cameron, what about you?
You're gonna make me talk on a meeting.
Oh,
Rude.
sorry, I didn't. Yeah, so it's fine.
I'll do
you can
it. I'll do it. I just want to preface this by saying, audio listeners, I have the best. I waited 2 hours for this milkshake. This milkshake is fucking amazing.
Wow, you're drinking a milkshake while eating Indian?
That's a bit odd.
They didn't have soft drink with it.
Is it not? Why did you not get a mango lassi?
Because they only had milkshakes.
What? Okay. This sounds like some dodgy Indian place, mate.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's really good, but God, the butter chicken's like fiery.
All right.
I love a fiery butter
what-
chicken.
I mean, it's fine, but it's like knocked up.
What have you been playing?
All right, so 3 main games I want to talk about. Age of Empires 2, I have become addicted again.
I'm not surprised.
The only problem I have with Age of Empires 2 is I bought the Dynasties of India DLC to, I love the newer DLCs because I haven't experienced them before. It's the nostalgia of being the first game I played on PC, mixed with them adding new content that kind of, furthers the series on. 3 achievements I want to talk about. The Go-Getter. You defeated the Hungarians before Sabotai arrived in the 6th Genghis Khan mission. Now, the timer on this is double speed. For whatever reason, Age of Empires time works faster. You got the timer on screen. 40 minutes before Sabotai arrives. And you have to defeat, I think there's 2 castles, 3 town centers, big, half you, half map from nothing.
Right.
It's very much a test of, alright, resource heavy in your main group, building 3 town centers straight away, building a whole ton of villages, getting everything going, and then just castle rushing.
Right.
Good old strategy of alright, there's 3 castles on my side of the river, I'm going to send some cavalry over, alright, they're coming over to me now, they get wiped out with arrows, kind of stuff, and then just build castle in, and I made that with 1 minute to spare. Very tight
Classic
time.
Age of Empires 2 strategy.
Yeah. Just amazing. Second one, I was in China before. You defeated the Jin before they started to wander in the 3rd Genghis Khan mission. This is about 30 minutes in. But you start with no villages or anything. You have to So with I should say with this, I'm essentially starting each match doing Marco Polo, getting a rough idea of like all the spots on the map. Go over, grab the transport ship, essentially find some villages there, and then this mission's ruthless. Like you're always getting attacked, so trying to find a place, setting up base, getting enough resources, and then going and taking these guys out, and before they build a wonder.
Right.
Took me 5 hours
Jesus.
because I kept on getting close.
Right, and then they start building it.
Yeah, it was like 4 to 5 hours. It just kept getting close, and then as soon as you get hit, that's it. So I kept on restarting, trying on a different part of the map, because there's also the river in between, like where you're potentially setting up, or you can set up at the very top of their map, but it's all trees. So you need like 20 villagers clearing out stuff to be actually able to put down. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. Managed to finally get it done, though. I think it's the hardest achievement I've got in Age so far. So I was very happy with myself over that. What else was there? Yeah, and just the river. I fucking hate naval combat. Like, naval combat's not for me. I'm usually just, get 100 champions and then just go in and destroy stuff.
I did like how you were having some trouble with the getting the India DLC to work, and the suggestions in the chat were quite helpful in the Discord. I found Cameron's.
I uninstalled the game. The straw that broke the camel's back today was I had just the base game installed, and it's like, you own this DLC, download it. I I exited the game, I download it, I restart the game back up. This DLC is locked. Please purchase it at the store. I'm like, fuck's sake, no, I give up. So I'm going to just try and play it off my laptop, try that kind of stuff. Anyway, the third achievement that I want to mention is No Wonder on my watch, which is destroying every enemy wonder in the 6th Attila the Hun mission. And they just pop up like whack-a-moles.
Oh, like whack-a-moles, oh my god.
There's like, I think 4 or 5 wonders that just pop up all over the map. While, you're constantly getting harassed with a small starting army. So that was fun. But yeah, I think like 3 of the more difficult Age of Empires achievements so far. And with that, getting, the Genghis Khan missions done. Till the Hun, what else was there? I think I did like 3 or 4 campaigns with it. But I've got 12 to go.
Damn.
Which is still like fucking heaps.
Well, that's a lot of content.
But I'm like 30% left for completion. So I'm getting there. It's been good. If I could get this Dynasties of India to work, then I would have a whole lot. I'd be a whole lot closer. Be more like 15%. But anyway, the extent I've been playing with Lee and Keo on stream. Yeah. Even did a stream last night where I had all 3 face cams going at once on my stream. It's pretty cool. It's fun. It still has the same audio issues and that I had a year ago when I was playing it then.
Right.
But it's a lot easier that Lee's a level 30 and just carrying us through. Like, it's still like, it feels like it's playing normally now. Right. Which is fine. The only thing after the fact is we will have to die 100 times to do it. But
yeah, you're playing the DLC for that, or
planning to.
Okay, right.
Because The Ascent was one of those games that I felt like was going to leave Game Pass soon.
Yeah, I have a feeling it probably is not far away.
July 29th, 2021 it came out, so...
Okay, yes, it's probably on maybe a 2-year, maybe a year and a half.
Maybe like year and a half, yeah. And the last one I was going to mention was the Tinykin, which is...
Yeah.
It's immediately in my top 5 for Game of the Year. I'm really struggling with the ranking at the moment, but probably all my games are going to be indies. Think of the collectathon that is Banjo-Kazooie, the original Banjo-Kazooie. Yep. Like getting the 100 notes, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, which is what I'm that's in my backlog, yep.
Yep. And mix that with Pikmin.
Cool. That sounds great.
No enemies, nothing. You're just...
Oh.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's just discovering, like, doing the... Very much like Banjo-Kazooie, like helping doing those tasks kind of things. as well. Like, oh, bring me this thing. It's just cute. It's just cute. It's very relaxing. You're just like trying to search the entire map, trying to find everything that you need to. Each Tinykin has like a different abilities. There's a red one that's like a bomb kind of situation. There's a green one that can build a ladder that you just hold right trigger.
The blue ones go on water, I assume.
Blue ones are electricity.
Oh, interesting. Okay, let's switch it up.
So you build like a current kind of going from the wire to PowerPoint. What else was there? Yellow is a bridge builder. So as you're getting you got like pink purplish ones which are your carriers that you'll like one of them might be able to pick up something like a card, but you might like need 20 to bring this item across the map. Then you're doing that with the bridges as well, and mixing up, being able to remove them. It's just like discoverability kind of stuff. But yeah, it's really fun. Really enjoy it. Definitely this is one of those Game Pass games that I'd say like just play straight away. It's only 8 to 10 hours.
Cool.
You might need a guide at the very end just to do some cleanup, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. It's going to be like a Banjo-Kazooie level where you're like missed like a series of notes kind of situation.
Sure. Okay, that sounds great. Yeah, I love those kinds of games.
And not Metroidvania. What's the best way to explain it? You have this, depending on how much of the like popcorn kernel kind of gold things that you're collecting in the map, you give them to like a shopkeep, and he gives you an extra bubble. And like basically when you're like jumping off platforms and all that kind of stuff, it's holding your breath kind of longer to travel further.
Okay.
Cool.
So I think
it'd be like you're drifting almost.
Like drifting through the air kind of stuff. The further you get with collecting your notes and all that, the easier the game will become, because you don't have to rely on the Tinykin as much. You can just massive jumps. Cool. There's some like level dependent challenges, like it'll tell you need 5 bubbles to reach this platform. Kind of
right.
stuff.
Okay. Right. So they were like, oh, Crackdown's pretty popular. Let's just do that.
The only problem I have with the game is that at the very start, there's like one jump, like when you're like very first 5 minutes, there's one jump that like seems a little bit hard before you get a Tinykin.
Right. Okay.
I think that should have just been moved back, but that's the only problem I've had with the entire game. It's amazing. And then other than that, I've just been playing Fall Guys to get the kudos stuff done at the moment, because they've got an event going on with, I think it's 3,200 you can earn in a fortnight.
Pretty good.
Yeah, because I'm down to 4 achievements.
Nice.
So yeah,
you get it done in no time. As for me, so I've been playing a few things. I finished up Euden Chronicles Rising. That's an okay game. It is a very, very basic side-scrolling brawler, with some very, very basic combat. Very basic. Like it's like baby's first side-scrolling RPG. It's like it reminds me of, like, if you think of something like what the fuck was that game that like Atlas used to do these kinds of games a lot, like the side-scrolling ones, before they did Persona. And it's like it's fine. Like, again, it's relatively easy. You level up, you have RPG mechanics, and you basically just have to collect a lot of materials to build stuff and do quests. There's like 160 quests in the game. And most of them are just fetch quests where it's like, hey, I need materials for this, or hey, I need you to go talk to this person, or I need you to find this item, or whatever, or beat these enemies. It's just busy work, the game. Story is very, very light, not that interesting. It's kind of cute. It's got nice music. It took me 18 hours to finish. So I got to the end. I got to the end at about 12, 13, and then kind of about 5 hours of kind of cleaning up side quests and grinding out levels and getting it level 50 and all that kind of stuff, and upgrading everyone's weapons. It's inoffensive. It's relatively simple. You probably won't have too much trouble with it. It's a nice kind of mindless game. You don't need a guide for it or anything. Also started up Bugsnax, because I was looking for something new on Game Pass to play. Now obviously I'm not gonna have time to play it, but I'll get back to it. It's fun. I've only done like the first couple of areas, so I'm very, like, I only put like maybe an hour or two into it. I love the art style. I love that it's basically Pokemon with snacks that say their name, and having a burger with eyes that runs around going bunger 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 is very appealing. I enjoy it quite a lot.
That is what Mike loved about it. Is the bunga bunga bunga.
It's very cute. It's very cute. The straub is also very, very adorable. So I'm excited to play it. It's real stupid, but it's been one of those ones where it's like it's a decent size completion. Like I think it's like a 25 hour one, and you got to collect all I think my only real disappointing thing is I realized that like there's 111 bug snacks to collect, but a lot of them are just like palette swaps. Like they just change the colors on them a little bit, maybe change the behavior a little bit. Like I was hoping for a bit more. Like I've only seen like one repeat to start with. Is like I found like a white strawberry instead of like a red one. But I get the feeling that there's probably going to be like a lot of like the same kinds of creatures because they can only be so creative, I guess. But I also like the very punny names that they've got. So yeah, it's great. It's very cute. It's very cute. I also been playing a bit of Dreamscaper on Cameron's recommendation. And it's funny actually because Kirby posted a review to Zero Punctuation's review of Cult of the Lamb. That kind of encapsulated a lot of thoughts on it, and he mentions Dreamscaper in there about being a game that like it used to be that you could put out a roguelike game or you could put out a management game. And it was just that. And it's like now both of those categories are so oversaturated that like them doing a combination is kind of what's trying to make that game interesting. The problem with Dreamscaper is that it's a roguelite with a combat system that's very reminiscent of Hades.
Okay.
And a few others. Like it's very reminiscent of Hades in terms of like there are 6 levels, you go down them. You have the ability to make those levels harder by expanding levels or things again like the heat level stuff. The interesting thing about the game is that there's a big variety of weapons that you can get and abilities, and that you master them over time by defeating rooms using them. So like I've set all of mine to random, so I just get random stuff every time I play, which is fun. And I like that idea. It's fun. The problem is that like it doesn't have the amazing music. It doesn't have the amazing art style. It doesn't have any voice acting. There's not really a compelling narrative. Like there's kind of like a through line, but it's kind of doesn't really explain a lot. And I find everything else, and even then the combat, like I find the weapons interesting, but I find the enemies really boring. The boss battles are pretty good, but it's like it feels like this is like a first pitch for a game. And I know it was a small dev, and I know they were in early access and that sort of stuff, right? But
yeah, dev team of 3, first game that they're all like industry experts from AAA's. They've broken up and done their own studio.
And like fair play to them, right? I think it's a competent game, but
why are you guys diss everything I like?
No, but it's like the thing is, I'm struggling really to be like it doesn't draw me in. Like Hades was like everything in that game pulled me in a way that I was like I didn't sleep when I played that game. That's all I did was play through that game.
See, I was like that with Dreamscaper though. Like the combat for me carried it through, and the boss battles are definitely the most interesting thing. But this is very much a game that I'd watch YouTube videos as I did a run, and that's like that's how I enjoy gaming though.
Yeah, see, that doesn't sound like that. Like I couldn't have anything distracting me when I was playing Hades. Like, that's the thing is that because even when I died in because when I went through Hades, I love the environment, I love the challenge, I love all the different boons and the things that you would run into were really interesting. And I really enjoyed the boss fights. And then it was like, then you die, you're like, oh no, but also that means I get to go back and talk to all these interesting people and like do all the stuff back in Tartar in the palace.
That's why I like Cult of the Lamb, because there's always something to do. Like if I get like it's that video was almost perfect.
Yeah.
Like explanation of Cult of the Lamb, because you end up doing the two things. You've got the dungeon and then you've got the management system, and like if you don't want to do that, you can go into this other area and go and fish, or you can go and do this, and like there's different things to do, and I love that.
Yeah, and I just wish there was a little bit more to both sides of this game, because I think the weapons are interesting, the abilities are interesting, the bosses are interesting, but the enemies themselves are kind of dull, and the art is just kind of shit, to be honest. I really don't like the art. And then the when you're awake stuff is basically brain dead. There's nothing there. They might as well have just been menus. They go around and talk to people and give them gifts, and sometimes they have like a really kind of like short conversation with you, and you get a minor bonus for using their ability or whatever. And then you can go and upgrade stuff, which again could have just been a menu. I just really feel like it isn't. Like the awake stuff is so light and weak. But I mean, like I'll finish it. I'll play.
I won't complain there. Like, yeah.
I think that I'm just struggling to really want to be like, after I finish a run, I'm like, I don't have that compelling thing to be like, oh, I want to try something different this time. It was like because the thing I liked about Hades was that it was like, oh, okay, I've got 3 different weapons, a bunch of different aspects that I can try, and I kind of had an idea for a build, and like, for example, being like in a thing where you get a choice between rooms, and it's like, hey, you'll find this god in this room or this god in this room, and that gives you an idea of like starting to plan things out. Whereas this game, you kind of just have to get what's thrown to you, which is, again, is a more of a traditional roguelike sort of thing. It's very, very randomized. I've gotten to the 4th area so far, I think. Yeah,
so,
I think
the thing is, though, Hades overstays its welcome for me, though, because
it does.
As soon as you get past the story, that's it. Like, it becomes a roguelite, and it's not enjoyable. This, it's always a roguelite, and it's not like, I'm appreciative of the fact that it's not wasting my time. Like, I know that if I do a run, it's going to result in me getting somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Definitely. Like, you always get some sort of mastery and that sort of stuff. Like, it is something to chip away at. But I've just been like, I've been finding it difficult to be like, I want to play this over other things. And so the other thing that I have been playing is Destroy All Humans, which I was like, hey, I want something from Game Pass. I've been putting this off for ages. This game's fun. I love this game. It's very, very 2000s. Like, you can tell it's a PlayStation game.
It's so weird because it's the only game I can think of this day and age that feels like a PS2 game.
Yeah, like it's a small open world with some really wacky characters and an art style that I love and a really early 2000s sense of humor to it. However, like, it's pretty funny. Like, I mean, to be fair, like you know, like if you're a history buff, because again, it's all set in the 1950s. Basically, you are an alien who is invading your brother, who is essentially a clone of you, because essentially you're a Furon, and the only way you could reproduce is through cloning. Your brother basically got shot down over Rockwell, and has been taken to Area 42, and basically you're sent to go and find him, because apparently the cloning process is deteriorating, and the only way you can get it is from Furon DNA that was seeded in humans long ago during some shore leave back during the early primate development. They don't go into what the details are, but you can probably imagine what that was about. So the whole thing is that you going around fucking up the humans and ripping their brains out, and like the thing is that you use like mind powers on them and stuff. It's very wacky. It's very 1950s. I love it because everyone is like, whenever like see you, they make references to 1950s aliens movie. Everyone's like, oh my god, it's the Blob. I'm like, wow, these people watch a lot of films. It's great, and like you read people's minds. There's a lot of talk about Marlon Brando. There's a lot of talk about Elvis. There's a guy just like, you read his mind, he's just yelling Stella.
Oh my god!
It's got a drive-in mission, doesn't it?
Yeah, like a drive-in mission, like all that kind of stuff. Like it like there's so many jokes about McCarthyism and the Reds and communism and lots of jokes about, again, things that happen in the future and things like that. Like it's very fucking funny. It is pretty juvenile, but I really enjoy it. I beat the final boss last night. I am just cleaning up the challenges. That's the tricky bit of that game, is that there are every area has like 4 different challenges. There's like one where you got to blow up a bunch of cars, one where you need to kill a bunch of enemies, one where you got to do like a race, you got to chase something, and then there's one where you got to throw things into a like a tractor beam, like an abduction beam. Those abduction ones are the hardest ones, so I've got like 3 of those left to do. They're actually really quite challenging, so they've kind of had me stumped a little bit. So I'm just kind of whacking away at those, but I've got 1 achievement left. Should be all good. I'm interested to see what the second one is like at some point. I'm sure that'll come to Game Pass eventually, so I'll keep an eye out for that. But that's me this week. Yeah, so not a huge amount, just kind of chipping away at Game Pass stuff. Origami 2 is probably going to take most of my time for next week. And then I guess I'll try and get Mighty Goose in there as well. All right. Well, let's get into our leaderboard then. Charlotte, where are people placed this week?
So, not much movement in terms of third and second place. We have Thrash Forever in third place with 7,510. In second place, we have Vulgar Latin with 8,775. And then in first place, swooping in out of nowhere, is Mad Mike Forever with 11,650.
How when she has a 700-hour completion to do when servers are
She only found out about that today, and she's not happy about it. So I'd be quiet on that front.
Yep. Mike, we're supporting you. We believe in you. You can get it done.
Yeah, she's a little bit daunted at the moment. So we'll see. We did. Robbie did work out how at least 1,500 hours worth of the game before it closes if she does 6 hours a day.
Yeah, that's not too bad. That's usually my average gaming time, so you could do that.
Just that one game.
It's fine.
Anyway.
How about completions?
Well, 3 months. Okay, so in completions we have Keo with 12 minutes and Tom Clancy Blacklist. David completed As Dusk Falls and Hidden Shapes. Cobra Todd finished Tom Clancy's Future Soldier. Chin Doctor did Hades and Animal Super Squad. Crucible 101 completed Myst and Bioshock Remastered. Rapture completed Avenging Spirit, so he's not actually doing as many baby games. Like this one.
He might actually be running out.
Maybe. We'll see. Aptos completed Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Cavalier 07 completed 12 minutes. Hack and Pone completed Spiritfarer literally the last second.
Just made it. Yep.
That was like me the month before. And Firehawk completed Nexamon and 12 minutes.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I suppose I should talk about the word challenge. So, Mark B won last time. So, good job.
I got to hook up. I've been busy. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, with Legend of the Galactic Heroes, the anime that no one's watched, but people should. They did a remake of it. It's quite good.
You're showing your weeb.
It's a fucking, to be fair, it's a fucking space, it's a space opera epic. I love it. It's cool because it basically, I won't get into it too much, but it takes the perspective of two different people on different sides of the war. And as the years go by, as they rise up in the ranks and meet each other and fight each other, it's fucking good. It's originally it's very old school, but the new one's pretty cool. I think Sea-Dog VA actually voice acted in one of the English voices.
Yeah, cool.
So I come up with a new game. I come up with a new game. I'm trying to remember what I put for the clue, actually, to be honest. I believe it is in there. So if we put it in the bot machine,
add clues. Who? Which one of us is doing it?
I'm doing it.
Okay.
Okay. So the clue is this game has a single DLC that has achievements. So it might have other DLC packs, but at least one of them has achievements.
Okay.
And that's all you're getting for this week.
Okay.
So there's a lot, but it's also something that you can't easily filter on TA. So good luck, guys. You have to actually do some fucking work this time. So good luck. If you don't know what the word challenge is, basically I come up with a game. You have to guess what it is in our channel on our Discord, discord.io/RollerGamers. And you can basically say, hey, I think it's this game. And if you're right, a gift shows up and you win $20. Simple as that.
$20 Australian.
$20 Australian, I should be, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, go in and give it a guess. And may the best person win. Probably Happy Moogles. If the previous ones are anything to go by. Patreon. Cameron, do you want to talk about Patreon?
Yeah, Patreon is a thing that we have. I went to the wrong overlay. Sorry, my mouth's on fire right now from that.
Oh my gosh.
I roll the dice. I try a new place. So Patreon, we have exclusive content over there for our patrons. We just released Hall of Debaters episode 1, discussing what's left in 2021 for games.
2022.
Sorry. we also do a Patreon draw each month for our lovely patrons, as well as other content like LCA, where we did Scott Pilgrim, and we all still need to watch Doom.
Yeah,
Matt's probably watched Doom.
we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Fine.
So yeah, in terms of our Patreon draw, it was Time on Frog Island was the winner out of Time on Frog Island, Eternal Hope, The Tale of Bastan, and Severed Still. Jeez, sorry. And drum roll. Good old friend or Shane or Firehawk won that code.
Yay!
Fantastic. Congratulations, Firehawk. Make sure you get in touch with us when you listen to this, which of course you do.
Yep.
To get your code. Cameron will sort you out.
What was the other thing? And going through the Patreon list very quickly, we have Mikhail, Chapters, Nadaleda, Firehawk, Mad Lefty, G-Faceman, Adam Awesome, Kiro, Heavy Moogles, Concrete Skills, Hack and Pone, Cavalier 07, Old Mate Clown, Mark B, and McLovin Legend.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys. We would not be able to do a show without you. We greatly appreciate all the support from you guys and anyone else who wants to help us out. Helps us pay for things like Zoom hosting fees, for getting the podcast out on Buzzsprout, occasionally for equipment like, cameras and mics and that sort of stuff, so we can actually continue to do the show. And also for competitions, of course, like Word Challenge and for like the
And
Patreon.
Zoom.
Zoom's the big one. It's fucking expensive.
Zoom is the worst.
And Cameron, you've also got, for this month's draw, I imagine you're putting together a new episode.
So me and Micah record all the August games on Monday, and then just got to go through the editing process. I haven't picked the 4 games out yet, but just some like off the top of my head that that are like probably don't need marketing. For example, Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Didn't come to Game Pass, but technically meets my criteria.
I mean, it's kind of got its own.
Well, I'll chuck some off the top of my head. Frogun?
I mean,
have you guys heard of Frogun?
No.
Like a PS1 platformer kind of clone. Like,
Okay.
Looks amazing. The gun is a frog / a gun.
I mean, to be fair, the show is called Overshadowed and Underappreciated. So if it's things
Yeah,
that
it should be ones that people haven't heard of.
Curse the Golf. The Company Man. How can a 2D like side scroller be 40 gig?
Yeah, I don't know.
I was like, what?
Don't give away all the games now. You'll have to make sure you save them for the show. But
tune in.
Yeah. So
and maybe one of Chapter's favorite games that he's completed this month.
I'm keeping an eye on that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, Cameron's going to be recording that, so we'll have that
Mike.
out for our Patrons with Mike. Probably sometime in the next couple of weeks or so, depending on how things schedule out. And then we'll be doing Lights Camera in Action, and then probably another episode of Hall of Debaters later in the month.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's kind of going to bring us towards the end of the show. As we said before, if you want to come hang out with us in our community, we're on Discord. Discord.io/HallofGamers is the place to find us. Come say hi. You can chat with us, talk about video games, do boosting sessions, shitpost, talk about British colonization of India, apparently. We also do the show live on Twitch every week. Hall of Gamers Pod is the place to find us. You can come hang out in the chat. We've got David, we've got Zach in here, we've got Allison, we've got Keo, Cobra Todd's in here, Bulbasaur. There's a few of us hanging out, saying hi.
Yep.
And otherwise, if you want to get in touch with us in other ways, we've got an email, hallofgamerspodcast@gmail.com or hallofgamerspod on Twitter. Subscribe to us on your platform of choice. Leave us a review. Tell your friends. Word of mouth, as always, is huge for us because, we're not a huge podcast. We greatly appreciate all the support we can get, monetarily or otherwise. Now, Charlotte, get Shilling hat on. Where can people find you?
Okay. Well, first off, I'm always on Discord under the Char with many names. Feel free to ask me one day how many I have. I haven't counted recently. I'm also on Twitter as AudreyChar. On Xbox, I'm AudreyChar. And then if you also want to support the podcast and me separately, I'm on my own streaming page on Charmandosaurus Rex. Charmandosaurus_Rex. I should probably put the underscore in there. And I do have my own Patreon as well.
Fantastic. Cameron, what about you?
Twitch, Shadowless Edge _. Twitter @Shadowless Edge or TA Shadowless with a space Edge. Find me in the Discord. Hit me up if you need anything. yeah, probably just going to do a lot more streaming now that my foot's actually a little bit better. And yeah.
Cool. And for me, Neomaster on everything, True Achievements, Xbox, and Discord. Well, that's going to wrap up episode 52 of the Calling Gamers podcast. Thank you to my wonderful co-hosts, and to our live audience, and to the people listening at home. We will catch you guys next week. See you later.
Bye.
Hey.